Run.
Talk about the tactical shape at the start of the game. Doesn't seem to suit. Every time I see them play the three at the back, they seem to struggle. Yet he persists in it. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I was shocked that they went in with the three. There was no need of all the teams they're playing against. You've got Tadic, who's not a really out and out centre forward anyway. Wants to. Why have the three defenders at times marking one and having runners from midfield? And then when they did go into three, they went into a five.
Yeah.
So when they pushed the two wide men up, they were a five. They were always going to be outnumbered in midfield, and they couldn't press them. They didn't have the bodies in there. That's when I disagree with Ericsson a little bit there, and saying, well, it doesn't matter about the tactics.
Sorry, he's not going to have a go at his manager, is he?
But I think the players would have thought, actually, well, we want to really get at them here in the first leg. They couldn't do it.
Yeah. Why do you think he plays that way, Rio?
Security. And I think I think he thought that, listen, I've not got the cutting edge up front, the missing Son, missing Kane, two hugely influential players in terms of goals in this team. So I think he was playing for more security and keeping bodies behind the ball. But again, that leaves you so outnumbered in midfield, as Glenn said. And Ajax's best and most influential player from in terms of dictating a game is De Jong. Yeah. He didn't get a glove laid on him all day. Sometimes you've got to get people against the people that make the other team tick, and they didn't do that at all. So there was always going to be on the back foot and push back. And then when you haven't got the pace of a Son to get out as the out ball, like they did against Man City, once they won the ball, the transition was the key to them getting through. Was when they won it, they could play straight balls up, making sure that they got players to get beyond the opposing defenders. Today with Llorente, it's a different proposition. It's different. It's a different task then. And they never got round to it.
Edgar?
No, I totally agree. I think the tactics was all wrong, and what happened is, like what you said, too much body in the back. What happens? The pitch was too wide. Llorente was alone. Dele Alli was somewhere else. Ericsson was constantly running around, and Mora was also running around. So there was no harmony. In the second half, you see that they're more compact, and then they can physically abuse them a little bit. But then you have the ball, and there's no creativity. Then the Ericsson has to show up, and he doesn't do what he needs to be doing. And then you see the limitations, about the midfielders of Tottenham.
Yeah, that's a fair point. The Ajax goal, good bit of football from Ajax perspective, Rio, but for you, looking at a defensive point of view, there are a few mistakes.
Yeah, there are. I mean, it's like a domino effect here. I mean, as I said in the half time when we watched it first, you've got to appreciate the skill here, the appreciation of the bodies in the Ajax team, and the way they open the space up here is fantastic. And this is just all about Ajax here, the way that they perform, the way that they play. They've been doing this all year. But we'll see in the next phase of this next clip, Dele Alli, he kind of starts it in terms of defensive mistakes. He goes out to the wrong ball. He has to leave it. It's offside. I don't think it's offside, sorry. That was never in contention. But Dele Alli here, we'll see it. Where the arrow is, he's got to go to that man. Let Wanyama come out to the ball. He has enough time to do that. Once he lets him go through, he's a free time to look up. And the space between the fullback and Vertonghen was too big, and then you get punished.
Do you think sometimes when you play a three at the back, Rio, that you think someone else will pick someone up? You don't take responsibility?
Yeah, sometimes if you don't play it often enough, and players aren't accustomed sometimes to playing it, and it can happen that. But then there's got to be someone in there that takes responsibility and dictates in that back line.
I just think that Spurs get it wrong when they play against a decent side. When they play against a team they can dominate, the three at the back is the offensive side of the game, with Vertonghen coming out and
both go wide,
and then you cause them problems. But against Liverpool up at Anfield, we started it, and we were on the back foot from the start, and the game was already gone. Same tonight against good opposition that are going to hurt you. Unless they switch into a 4, there's a way of doing it. But you have to then switch into a 3 when you get the ball. Defensively, we still haven't sorted it out, and I just hope over in Amsterdam they play with the back 4.
It could have been worse for Tottenham. Neres went very close to making it 2-0, didn't he, Edgar?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is poor. Come on, this is poor defending.
Yeah.
You know, that's not on this level. And then he has to make the foul before, he lets him go on, and then that's what you get. And I mean, and this is very poor finishing from Ajax, because Tadic had to shoot in front of the goal immediately. You know, so they're quite lucky with this one.
He just scuffs it a little bit, doesn't he? If he wraps his outside of his foot over it, he just scuffs it into the ground. And to be fair, that's the tie gone. If that goes in 2-0, I think the tie is over and done with. But that gives Tottenham a glimmer of hope.
Well, Spurs didn't have too many clear-cut chances. In fact, they only had one shot on target in the entire game, and that was Dele Alli, and that was this instance. There was a
long throw, not pretty on the eye, but this was scruffy, yes, to say the least. And this was really the only way Spurs were going to score today, in little bits and pieces, ball going up to the front and making things ugly, making things uncomfortable for this Ajax team. But the quality and the decision making in the final third was never up to much and up to enough to really knock this team out of their stride. But far too often in this position here, Eriksen, his quality of pass there. See, the quality of passing that there wasn't on point.
There wasn't a pass or a cross or a bit of skill that was going to make the difference. It was going to open that Ajax defence. It was all very mediocre. You could read every pass that was going to be played. This is the injury. This is a massive negative for Tottenham now if he's out for a while, because he's hit the back of Alderweireld's head there clashing, isn't it? And he was definitely concussed.
It's funny because he seemed okay, didn't he? And then all of a sudden he stumbled and he lost the use of his legs.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. He said, what did you say?
What?
I mean, like, no, you noticed it immediately. I mean, like, I didn't even notice because he came in fresh.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
he lost his legs there.
It looked scary though.
Yeah, it really did. I understand he was being appraised still in the medical side of things here at Tottenham. So the fact there's no ambulances involved, hopefully it's not too serious.
Definitely.
You'd like to think so, because he's an important player for them as well. And if he's concussed, he's going to be a concern for the next leg.
Another miss. Only once, actually, in Champions League history, as a team lost the first leg at home 1-0 and come back to win. Only once. Do you know who that was? Anyone?
No.
You should know, Edgar.
Yeah.
You took part in
Greece.
that. 1996, correct, against Panathinaikos, Ajax on that particular occasion. It's a big ask for Spurs, there's no question about that.
But it is, if they play like that today, they've got to improve on that performance. No doubt about it. Son coming back, that's going to be a big plus. But tonight it just wasn't the Tottenham that we expected. There was no creativity, their passing was off. There was too much hesitation in their passing, in their crossing. They played with too much fear for me.
One player looked pretty comfortable throughout the game was De Jong.
Yeah,
Kept the ball nice and tidy.
Yeah, he played like he always does. But you saw also in the second half when he got pressured, it was hard for him. But think about Ajax. Tadic was not, I think, exceptional, and Neres was not exceptional. So what happens if they do?
They've got more to come.
I hope so.
But I think at this level, we're talking about playing at the top level here. If you give players of this standard time on the ball, they're going to look $1 million. And listen, this kid's a fantastic young talent.
$75 million.
$75 million worth of talent going to Barcelona. But his comfort on the ball. But again, he just looked at ease at this level, and no look passing there, just take through the lines. And there's a maturity in the way he plays, which I really, really like.
Okay. Well, he kind of accepted responsibility, admitted that it was possibly a mistake starting with that system.
Yeah, and that's an honest appraisal what we've seen from him there. I think that it was only right that you say what you see, and I'm sure he saw exactly what we were talking about earlier from up here. But what was missing was a spark as well from the team. You come into a semi-final, you expect a little bit of bite, a bit of aggression, some authority on the game, and there wasn't any of that in this Spurs team today. So that, I'm sure, along with the tactical side of it, he'll be disappointed with.
You expect a different game in Amsterdam? No.
No, the thing is, when I see them play now, and when Sissoko came on, there was a little spark coming on and whatever. Second half, there was a little bit spark, but I don't know. I mean, like, tactically, they solved it a bit, but creatively, I don't know if they will have the power to do that.
I think starting that way, I know it wasn't just the goal, but it gave Ajax the emphasis. The first 30 minutes should have been Tottenham. Pressing and playing and nearly scoring and creating, really going for it. But it actually gave them the emphasis to go and attack them. And
there is a positivity though, Glenn, coming into the next game. Son's back. Son has been a huge part of their season in terms of goals. So he's a big positive to come back, and they've got to use that.
It's not over yet, that's for sure. Tomorrow night, we're back in Barcelona, and that could be very special indeed. The game should be pretty tasty, shouldn't it?
I can't wait to go sleep, wake up and get out on that flight out there. I mean, great stadium, the history in the stadium, and two great teams, two confident teams with Messi on one side, and you've got some great players on the Liverpool team as well.
We'll have plenty of chance to talk about that tomorrow night. What do you feel? How do you feel that game will go, Edgar? It's hard, tough one to call, isn't it? Two different styles.
I mean, like Messi is a different level. He can decide whenever he wants, and that's a problem. But you have to give it to Liverpool too.
Yeah.
I mean, like they have some incredible players up front.
I personally think the second leg at Anfield is key for me. That place, when it's rocking, my word. And if they've got something to hang on to, I think Liverpool can knock them out. I really do.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. If they can just...
Edgar's not so
if the little
sure.
man wants to go, well, today I'm going to score a hat-trick, OK, he might not do. But I think Anfield is an incredible place to go and play.
I tell you what,
as the opponents.
We'll leave you two to argue. You can carry on after we've gone off air. But Edgar, great to see you. Thanks, Glenn. You too, Rio. Not the greatest game here tonight, but tomorrow, bring it on.